the Rio Grande, critical boundary between Mexico and the United States. The morning of September 7th, 1873, Emiliano Lopez, personal representative of the Mexican president, bound for Washington. His mission of the utmost importance.
That takes care of Lopez's escort. Cross. Don't kill him! Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Lopez.
That doesn't concern you.
I know someone who does concern. Get the horses. He'll be staying with us for some time.
Despite every precaution, the emissary's route had been revealed. And for Colonel Randall Mackenzie, who waited to escort the emissary to San Antonio, this treachery was to have far-reaching consequences. Having waited long beyond the appointed time, Mackenzie finally crossed into Mexico. His purpose, find Emiliano Lopez. His orders, secret. The risk, court-martial or death.
You're dead. Any sign of Lopez?
No sign.
I hope it's not who I'm thinking.
Ben Pierce? I hope it is. Then Lopez will still be alive. They didn't waste any time crossing back to the States. Those poor devils. I guess their own patrols will pick them up.
Now they're under your jurisdiction.
Ben Pierce has been under my jurisdiction for some time.
Ah!
Look here.
What is it, sir?
It's a spangle. The kind a Mexican official might wear on his saddle.
They're fresh tracks in both directions. Which way'd they go?
Look there. One of those horses was unshod. Mexicans don't shoe their horses. That's Lopez trail. Let's go. See the spangles on that white horse?
I count 7 horses. That means he's got 5 men. What'll we do?
Pierce has got Lopez all right, but I've got Pierce's brother, Jed. He's gonna be hung tomorrow. Pierce will have to come to me. Today. Let's get back to the fort. Go on.
We don't want you to die, Your Excellency. Do you think he'll change Mackenzie's mind, Mr. Pierce?
Don't let his look fool you, Lane. He's a very important man to Mackenzie and the United States. Very few people in Mexico are our country near your journey. I bought a very important official.
Bought, senor?
Bought. The route you traveled cost me several $100s. Well worth it.
You must realize you are getting involved in an international situation.
It's the other way around. You got yourself involved in a local mess with me and a tough colonel.
You're dealing with Colonel Mackenzie means nothing to me. My mission is vital.
That's just what I'm betting on. That your mission puts enough pressure on Mackenzie's shoulders to save my brother from a rope.
You offend law and order, senor.
Is my behavior so different than your overthrow of Maximilian?
Maximilian was a dictator.
My brother and I ran this country until Mackenzie moved in. Mackenzie and I can't exist together.
How soon will you know?
Sometime today.
Do you realize any delay might be disastrous for Mexico?
I'm sorry, senor. That's your problem. For the time being, you're working for me. Take good care of him while I'm gone. If I'm not back by sundown, kill him. My apologies, senor.
The orders are explicit, sir. Lopez is to be transported secretly and safely at all costs.
And he must be in San Antonio not later than 8 o'clock on Thursday. That means he's got to leave here not later than sunrise tomorrow. Now, Trooper Allen,
Good morning, sir.
will it be ready on time?
Yes, sir.
This your first execution, son?
Yes, sir. And I don't like it.
None of us do. Carry on, Allen.
Yes, sir.
Come in.
Pardon me, sir. Ben Pierce is here. He wishes to speak to the colonel.
Show him in. I'll see him alone.
All right, Mr. Pierce, you can come in.
Good afternoon, Colonel. Hope you're not thinking of putting a rope around my neck. Lopez will be dead if I'm not back before sundown. Oh, it's a nice-looking gallows you're building. It's too bad you won't be able to use it. I give you credit, Colonel. You gave it a good try. You even had the settlers believing in you.
Come to the point, Mr. Pierce.
I thought you knew the point. My brother Jed's riding out with me.
Oh. And Senor Lopez?
You can trust me. He'll be free.
The only thing I can trust you to do is to continue your stranglehold on the settlers, to continue murdering anyone who steps in your way.
That's your fault, Colonel. There was no trouble until you came along. They gave me everything I wanted, gladly.
Fact remains, I'm holding your brother.
He's no more in jail than you are. I raised Jed from a kid like a son. You think I let him end up this way?
You raised him to be a murderer. This is the way murderers end.
Not Jed, Colonel. You see, I know how important Lopez is.
All right, Mr. Pierce. I'll turn over your brother when you turn over Lopez.
You know I won't do that.
Yet that's what you're asking me to do.
You have no choice. I'm dealing the cards.
Then you'll deal them off the top of the deck or there'll be no game.
You haven't the guts to allow Lopez to be killed. You'd lose that bird on your shoulder.
Nevertheless, as it stands now, your brother Jed will be hung in the morning.
As it stands now, if my brother hangs, so does Lopez.
I told you an exchange of prisoners is the only thing I'll consider. Good day, Mr. Pierce.
What kind of exchange?
You're to escort Lopez. Come alone, unarmed.
We'll be with Jed.
Just me, also unarmed.
Where?
Outside Bracketville. Sunset.
No, it's too close to this place. Sunset's fine. Let's meet at Twin Forks. It's closer for me.
All right. Just one thing. How can I be sure it's Lopez that you'll turn over to me?
A man has to have some faith, Colonel.
Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
Close the door. There'll be an exchange of prisoners at sunset, just outside Twin Forks.
It's a 4-hour ride, sir.
That's right. I've got to get there before he does to protect myself. My orders are explicit. Senor Lopez has got to be given safe conduct to San Antonio. I've got no choice.
You're also obliged to capture and execute Jed Pierce and his brother, sir.
I'm aware of that, Lieutenant.
But how do you know you can trust Jed Pierce?
I've given my word.
But he's constantly broken his in the past.
Yes. Yes. Benedict.
Yes, sir.
You're to ride armed escort. Get Jed Pierce ready to ride immediately. Then meet me 2 miles this side of Twin Forks at sunset.
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant. Lieutenant, who's the best marksman on the post?
Corporal Dixon has the best record, sir.
Is he familiar with the telescopic sight?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to see Corporal Dixon immediately.
The men are on the rifle range, sir.
Immediately, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
Mackenzie now faced his first great dilemma at Fort Clark. His orders were to bring peace to the area and at the same time deliver the Mexican emissary to Austin the following night. In order to fulfill these conflicting orders, Mackenzie realized that time was his key factor. Time to beat Ben Pierce to the exchange spot. In order to do it, he had to perform the impossible.
Corporal Dixon's waiting outside, sir. This is his latest handiwork.
Let me see. Yeah. He'll have to be at least this accurate.
Benedict left with Jed Pierce 5 minutes ago, sir.
Have Dixon come in.
Corporal Dixon?
Yes, sir. Corporal Dixon reporting, sir.
Be with you in a minute, Corporal. Lieutenant, have 2 of our fastest horses prepared.
Yes, sir.
Oh, stand easy, Corporal. You ever witnessed an exchange of prisoners?
Yes, sir.
Think you understand the procedure?
I think so, sir. The one I saw went according to the book.
Well, I'm going to ask you to join me in one that may not go according to the book. Give me a hand with these boots.
Yes, sir.
I understand you're my best marksman.
Thank you, sir.
You familiar with the telescopic sight?
Yes, sir.
I'm exchanging a prisoner for a Mexican official at Twin Fork at sunset.
Yes, sir.
Now, it may all go according to the book, in which case your orders are specifically to do nothing. You understand that now, Corporal? If it goes according to the book, you're to do nothing.
Yes, sir.
However, there may be some treachery. In that case, your job is to protect that Mexican official at all costs. That Mexican official must be unharmed. There's no way to change that order. You understand?
I understand, sir.
Now, it may be that you'll see a pistol at Senor Lopez's head, in which case that pistol is to be your target.
The pistol, sir?
Exactly. If you shoot at the man holding the pistol, it might possibly go off. Senor Lopez is to be protected at all costs.
I understand, sir.
You've got to be at least as accurate as this. You think you can do it?
Yes, sir.
Good boy. All right. We leave immediately. No extra gear, no sabers, no weight. We travel as light as possible. Wear moccasins. Corporal, you're going to ride as you've never ridden before in your life. It's imperative that we get there before anybody else.
Yes, sir.
That's all. Lieutenant?
Yes, sir.
Horses ready?
Yes, sir.
Dixon already has his orders. It's going to be forced ride the whole way.
Yes, sir.
September 7th, 1873, early afternoon. Colonel Mackenzie and Corporal Dixon rode against a deadline. Their destination, Twin Forks. Their purpose, to arrive before sunset to guard against possible treachery by Ben Pierce during the prisoner exchange.
What's wrong?
He's gone lame, sir.
All right, mount up with me.
Well, what about the horse, sir?
He'll find his way back to the fort.
We'll never get there in time, sir. We'll get a fresh horse at Becker's.
Where's Jed?
We'll get him. We're going to exchange him for Jed at Twin Forks.
When?
Sunset. Mackenzie and I agreed to meet there alone and without arms.
Well, how can you trust Mackenzie?
If Colonel Mackenzie says he'll be there, he'll be there. Anyway, he had a hard ride to look forward to. Didn't give much time for thinking.
You mean you plan to go alone?
I wouldn't say that. You'll be there.
So, you're going to kill him?
I never for a moment thought otherwise.
What about me, senor? Do I go free? I must reach Washington. My government will pay you for my release.
I want my brother. You're only important to me as a way of getting him back.
You know, senor, we have a man in Mexico just like you. You're all the same no matter where you live. Filth!
I don't see any difference. You're willing to do business with me when your life's at stake.
Out of necessity only, senor. If I had the chance, I would open your throat.
But you haven't the chance, have you, senor? Nor Mackenzie either. Not now.
Mr. Becker,
Hi, Colonel. You sure look mighty beat up. What's up?
I haven't got time to explain. We need a new horse.
You want to bore my horse so he can run him like you run him, eh? I ain't that rich, Colonel.
We'll give you good money for him.
Yeah, let me see.
I'm not carrying any money with me. You'll have to take my word for it.
I'm afraid you'll have to look someplace else, Colonel. I don't know you long enough to cotton to that sort of deal.
Corporal, saddle that horse.
Yes, sir. Now, look here.
I'm sorry, Mr. Becker. You'll have to take my word for it. You've got no choice. Come on, Corporal. We've got to make up that time.
This old horse is doing the best he can, Colonel.
Not quite. Let's travel 40 pounds lighter. Get rid of that saddle.
Oh.
We made it, Colonel.
Yeah.
We beat him here.
Now remember your orders, Corporal. The Mexican official is your responsibility. No harm is to come to him. If there's a gun on him, that gun's to be your target.
Yes, sir.
Oh. I'll leave this with you.
Colonel, are you sure?
Just you be sure.
Looks awful quiet up there, Mr. Pierce.
Yeah, I got the cards stacked on my side this time. Come up undercover after Jed and Mackenzie get there.
Sunset, time of the prisoner exchange. Following his prearranged plan, Mackenzie met Jed Pierce and his guard 2 miles outside Twin Forks.
Any trouble, Benedict?
No, sir. Where did you come from, Mackenzie?
You're not the only business I have to attend to, Mr. Pierce. My coat.
What's that get up for?
Giving exchange according to regulations. That's the regular uniform. After you, Mr. Pierce.
Just take it nice and quietly. So you decided to play it straight, huh, Colonel?
I told you I'd be here, Mr. Pierce. Unarmed. Yo soy Coronel Mackenzie. ¿Es usted el emisario de Benito Juárez?
Sí, coronel. Mi nombre es Emiliano López, miembro de la oficina personal del presidente Juárez.
All right, Mr. Pierce, I'm satisfied.
Turn Jed over, Mackenzie.
Follow me, Senor Lopez.
Lane! Lopez is a very valuable foil for me. Now I can get you out of my hair once and for all.
Kill him, Lane.
At least let Lopez go.
I can't afford to. I can't afford to have anyone live and tell about this.
Get his pistol, Lopez!
You can add another stripe, Corporal.
Thank you, sir. I just pulled the trigger and prayed.
You prayed well.
Sir,
Yes, Lieutenant.
a couple of settlers are waiting outside the gate. Pierce killed their kin. They've requested permission to witness the execution.
Request denied.
This is the first victory for peace in the area. They felt they had a right to share it with you.
They can share in the benefits.
Yes, sir.
Now, Lieutenant, if you would accompany Senor Lopez.
If I may, sir.
Yes.
Why did you want to wear your dress uniform at the exchange yesterday?
Because, Lieutenant, the only way I could honorably take Jed and Ben Pierce was by provoking them into treachery. The best way to do that was by making them think Mackenzie was a tin soldier.
You a tin so... Excuse me, sir.
Senor Lopez, vaya con Diaz.
Muchas gracias, coronel.
Mackenzie's raiders rode again and again, carrying out the secret orders of the President of the United States. Do whatever necessary to clean up the Southwest. Make it a decent place for people to live. Ride with Mackenzie's raiders as they relive the blazing pages of history in the making. The afternoon of June 8th, 1876, on Mexican territory. Another raid by Scatashi, another risk by Mackenzie. Mackenzie, as numerous times before, had violated the border, fully aware of the consequences if he were caught. But Scatashi had killed and plundered. He and his small band had to be stopped. Mackenzie had no choice but to rely on his secret orders. Clean up the area even if you have to cross the Rio Grande to do it. If the United States government catches you, it'll be a court-martial. If it's the Mexicans, it'll be a hanging.
We're ready, Colonel. Both flanks are secure. They're cut off from their horses.
Where's Conover?
He's posted on the next rise, sir.
Good. And they're completely pinned down. Get back to your position.
Yes, sir.
Skitashi! Skitashi, this is Mackenzie. I have many rifles staring at you. Tell your warriors to throw down their weapons and walk north. That way there'll be no killing. You don't have much time, Skitashi. I'm waiting for your answer.
Let her out. Mexican soldiers, a whole troop of them.
How much time have I got?
No time, Colonel. They'll be on us real soon. Want me to stay?
Yeah, Charlie. Keep an eye on Skitashi for me. I'll get the troops back across the river. Looks clear.
Yes, sir.
Let's get across.
Colonel James A. Beasley, Inspector General's office.
Oh, yes, of course, sir. I was expecting you. Sorry I couldn't meet you on your arrival. Something urgent came up.
Lieutenant, were you ordered into Mexico?
Well, Colonel, you see...
Of course he was ordered into Mexico. By me. I'm in command here.
Colonel Mackenzie, I'm placing you in arrest. You'll accompany me back to the fort.
Hard to figure what a difference that miserable little river makes.
Are you ready, Colonel?
Ready, Colonel.
You want an order posted, sir?
No, it's sufficient that the colonel knows he's confined to the post.
Yes, sir.
I want full reports from all the men who went to Mexico. That includes you, Lieutenant. Have them made out as soon as possible. They'll go along with my report to Washington.
Won't that mean a court-martial, sir?
That's not for me to decide. The colonel's office?
Yes, sir.
His quarters?
In there, sir.
Those reports are your first order of business, Lieutenant.
The secret orders, by their very nature, prevented Mackenzie from using them as a defense. He could not tell Beasley or anyone else, not even the court-martial officers. In the words of the Secretary of War, if you're caught, you're on your own.
Come in. Oh, Colonel, please come in.
It'll take a while to hear from Washington. I've assumed your command.
You mean you're going to report the incident?
Yes, I am. You think I can let pass the shocking disregard of a friendly nation's sovereignty that I witnessed this morning?
Well, it's just that in the field, it's not always easy to do these things true blue.
Maybe so. But I find it incredible that anyone could be so stupid as to risk the security of the United States. Don't you realize this is the only sensitive border we possess? That violating it could bring irreparable damage to our relations with Mexico?
Scatashi is responsible for 19 killings in this territory. Then he skips back across the Rio Grande and thinks he's home free. How else would you propose dealing with him?
As a veteran officer, you should know that no Indian settler or anyone else in the world is worth the grave steps you've taken. I presume you've read your general orders.
I've read them.
Well, you seem to have dismissed them from your mind, as if they don't apply to you, Colonel. Of course, I'll include any statement you wish to make in my report.
The only statement I'd wish to make is that Scatashi must be stopped.
I agree. But I have no sympathy for your actions. As an inspector, I've seen officers, even generals, disobey their orders before, but never have I encountered such flagrant violation. And by one of the model Army officers.
You know, sir, you have quite a reputation as an administrative officer. And I respect that reputation. But I do wish you could see this thing a little differently.
I don't understand. What other way is there to see it? Colonel, don't think for a moment I like what I have to do. I remember you well. As far back as the academy. I was 2 years behind you. Like all other underclassmen, you were the one we looked up to. You were the leading cadet. Have been an outstanding officer ever since. Your career has been brilliant. I'm genuinely sorry that I'll have a hand in the scandal that's bound to result.
Yes. Yes, Colonel, a general court-martial is never a pretty thing to see. But of course, you have your duty to do. That is, unless you could reconsider the circumstances.
Good day, Colonel.
What are you going to do if Scatashi strikes again?
I'll try to stop him within the limits of the law.
Colonel Beasley now faced the problems of frontier command. The overburdened 4th Cavalry was stretched thin to patrol 1,500 desolate miles. Finally, Scout Conover returned from Mexico with word of Scatashi.
Charlie?
Say, is the Colonel in?
Which one?
Well, Mackenzie. Who else?
Colonel James J. Beasley, Inspector General's office. He's in command now.
In command? Do you mean that the ship Mackenzie...
He's in his quarters. He's confined to the post, under arrest.
Under arrest? Oh, you're joshing me, ain't you, Lieutenant?
Colonel Beasley caught us crossing the river.
Oh, that is trouble, ain't it?
The worst kind. Probably means a court-martial.
You mean that's what this fella Beasley is going to recommend?
Well, he doesn't have to. Washington won't have any alternative.
Well, what does Mackenzie say about all this?
Nothing. There's not much you can say. It'll wreck him.
No, he's been in worse trouble than that.
No, he hasn't. The Army's not just his career, it's his life. They might as well kill him as hand him a court-martial.
Ain't there nothing you can do about this?
Oh, against all the reports. That's about all. Colonel Beasley doesn't bend easy.
Say, is he in the Colonel's office right now?
Yes?
I'm your chief scout.
Oh, you're Conover. Well, I didn't realize we had to have our scouts living undercover in Brackettville.
Well, how else are you going to bring things to light?
Well, that's true. Now then, about Scatashi.
Now, just a minute, Colonel, before we start talking about Scatashi. How about Mackenzie?
I don't think that concerns you, Conover.
Well, maybe not, but I just happens that I'm going to make it so. Now, what's all this I hear about a court-martial?
I don't know what you've heard. Colonel Mackenzie is under arrest for violating an international boundary.
International boundary? Well, you mean that little bit of a river down there that I can spit across? Why, shucks, Colonel, everybody used that river. I don't see why Mackenzie shouldn't.
Conover, it's useless for us to discuss this.
Why, it's useless for us to try and whip them bandits if we can't use that river.
We're going to do the best we can.
Well, the best ain't good enough in this case. Why, Colonel, when they find out that we ain't going to use that river, there's going to be the biggest commotion that you ever seen in your life.
The United States Army is equipped to administer law and order.
I admit to that, but most of the time the law and order is done on the other side of the river.
Well, according to these reports, things are not half as bad as you make out.
Yeah, well, they used to be. Of course, Mackenzie, he's cleaned up this territory, this area here an awful lot. But he didn't do it by just standing and looking at that river.
You mean this is not the first time he's crossed the Rio Grande?
Why, Colonel, how do you suppose we catch them murderers?
Well, that makes it even worse.
Worse? Well, I didn't come here to make it no worse. I just come here to speak my piece, that's all.
Well, you've certainly done that, Conover. I'll expect this information included in your report.
Report? Oh, shucks, I ain't gonna make out no report.
You're a United States Scout assigned to Fort Clark. You're under my command.
All right then, Colonel. Since you're my new boss, you'll want to know that, in my opinion, Scatashi will begin this afternoon.
Why this afternoon?
Well, a lot of the men will be in the town at that time. And them's the kind of odds that Scatashi likes.
How do you know he's preparing for an attack?
Well, I don't for sure. But it's a cinch that he ain't going to pack up in the middle of the night and go down to that river just for a change of scenery.
How do you know about his movements?
Now, Colonel, you ought to be able to figure that out for yourself.
I'll need more concrete evidence than that.
Well, sometimes, Colonel, that's about all the news that a scout can get. Suit yourself, Colonel.
Hello, Colonel.
Hello, Lieutenant. Is he in?
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Come in. Sir, I just saw Charlie Conover in the stable area.
So?
If he says Skatashi's going to attack, he's going to attack.
He said in his opinion, Colonel.
Conover's opinion is only the most valuable opinion in this territory. Please, sir, let me take a troop after him.
That's impossible. You're confined to the post.
Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. Listen to Conover. Follow up his report with as many troops as you can muster.
All right, Colonel, I will. I've never lost respect for your experience in the field.
Thank you, sir.
Fort Clark, and a critical moment in history. Settlers to be protected, roads to be patrolled, a border to be guarded. Many more problems than the 4th Cavalry could hope to cope with. And in command, Colonel James J. Beasley, a desk officer. Colonel Beasley, by his arrest of Mackenzie, had forced himself into a command position. Mackenzie's only hope for the continuance of his Army career now rested with Colonel Beasley.
And of course, from their position on the river, I figure they're headed toward the settlement, see?
Lieutenant, I'd like to have a word with the troop before we move out.
They're here, sir.
You must have misunderstood me, Lieutenant. This is not nearly enough men.
I understand that, sir. These are the only men available.
Lieutenant, there are over 200 men assigned to Fort Clark.
I can read you the duty roster, sir.
Whatever the other men are doing, relieve them and have them join us.
The only men on the post are the cooks and the guards. Everyone else is out on detail.
You mean out of 200 men, this is all we can assemble?
There's 1,500 miles we're responsible for, sir. There's not a man wasted, and we're still short.
Well, we better get started.
Colonel Beasley took Conover's advice and rode out to the settlement in hopes of surprising the renegade Skatashi.
mother inside.
Well?
The mother will be all right. Little girl's dead.
Can we cut them off at the river?
Well, they've got a good start, but we can try.
Leave a trooper with the mother. Come on, let's go.
He wants to know if you're coming after him.
Yes, sir.
You sent for me, sir?
Colonel, the settler's child is dead.
Yes, I know, sir. Conover told me.
What did she know about it, Colonel? What did she know about reservations and rules and rivers? All she knew was this doll. I could never stomach death. I guess that's why I'm an administrator. Only 4 troopers.
Well, I guess that's the way it is all over the West, sir.
I imagine so. It's hard to believe. Hard to believe such a situation exists. You know, my daughter has a doll like this.
Was the little girl the only one killed today, sir?
Yes, the only one. But that's the same as 1,000, isn't it?
I suppose it is, sir, if you look at it that way.
He just stood there across the river, staring, waiting. I'm sure the men didn't understand why I didn't go after him.
They understood, sir. I doubt if they liked it, but they understood.
I didn't like turning back either. But what are you supposed to do? An officer lives by hard and fast rules.
Sometimes, sir, an officer finds that those rules don't always apply.
But they have to.
Yes, sir.
Meantime, Skatashi is still free.
He'll have more men soon.
But, well, where will he get them?
From the reservation. They'll hear about his success. They'll grow confident. They'll come and join him.
So the longer the situation persists, the more disastrous it becomes.
Exactly. Today, he's a renegade. Tomorrow, he may overrun the whole territory.
Colonel, what would you do if I gave you back your command?
I'd find Skatashi's position and I'd wipe him out.
Wherever the position may be?
Wherever the position may be.
All right, Colonel. The command is yours.
No, about 4 miles down the road by the crossing.
How many men?
Oh, he's still got the same handful. I don't know how long they'll be there, Shucks. He moves around an awful lot.
Yeah, that's Skatashi. We caught him sitting still once. He's not going to let it happen again. Lieutenant Paxson.
Yes, sir.
Assemble a troop. Full fighting gear.
They've been standing by since Charlie rode in, sir.
Good.
Colonel, I'd like to go with you.
Well, we need all the help we can get. Happy to have you with us, sir. What's that?
The colonel's report, sir.
When does the courier leave?
Not until Saturday, sir.
There'll be plenty of time to take care of this when we get back.
Yes, sir.
You ready, Colonel?
Ready, Colonel.
Well, as near as I can figure, they've been gone for, about an hour, traveling along the river.
What about federales?
Well, I think we're all right there.
We've been 2 hours on Mexican soil.
Well, there's not much risk as long as we stick this close to the river.
Won't Skitashi move south if he finds out we're after him?
Let's hope he doesn't. I never did like the idea of a Mexican rope around my neck.
This is pretty hot there for a minute. Did you get him?
I got him.
Skatashi's dead, sir. The rest have surrendered.
I got some good advice for IG officers. Stay behind the desk. Sorry to cause you so much trouble.
That's our job.
My job. Those reports, Colonel.
I'll send them on to Washington.
No, you won't. Tear them up, Colonel.
Man? Yes, Lieutenant.
I hate to bother you, sir. How do I list Colonel Beasley's death in the casualty report?
Just as we list all other deaths on Mexican soil. Killed in action. Period.
Yes, sir.
Mackenzie's raiders rode again and again, carrying out the secret orders of the President of the United States. Do whatever necessary to clean up the Southwest. Make it a decent place for people to live. Ride with Mackenzie's raiders as they relive the blazing pages of history in the making. The time, 1873. The place, 15,000 square miles of treacherous Texas borderland. The problem, open the territory for peaceful settlement. This was the task assigned to Colonel Randall Mackenzie and his troopers at Fort Clark. Against them, the murderous renegades who fought amongst themselves for the spoils of the area. One of these fights for power led to a split between Red Buckman, the leader of a notoriously vicious gang, and his lieutenant, Andy Wheeler. As with the others, Wheeler began to scavenge for himself. Handicapped not only by shortages, but by the vast distances between his command post and the far-flung settlers' cabins, necessity demanded that Mackenzie spend long hours in the field, searching for the renegade raiders.
Firing down by the Jeffers farm, sir. Could be Buckman's men. Oh! Ha! Oh!
What do you want to fight me for? For this? Dirt grubbing farmers work themselves like horses, and for what? $10, if that.
What do you expect to find here, Carlotta's crown?
No, but enough to get the wrinkles out of my belly.
We should have stayed with Buckman.
Well, you can go back any time you have a mind to.
Get my ears cut off?
No, Porter, we've raided our last farm until I get Buckman.
Andy, you thinking about that again?
I never stopped thinking about it. With Buckman out of the way, his men would follow me anywhere.
That's right enough.
And that's our next move. Against Buckman. Take the horses out of the corral.
Right.
Let's get some fresh horses from the corral.
I never could understand your kind. Leave a good home, take up to some no-count man, then fight for him. Your whole life, for what?
3 of them.
Get out of here!
Woman over there on the couch.
Have a look. Who are you, sir?
Wheeler. Andrew Wheeler. Formerly Lieutenant 5th Georgia Reserves.
What are you doing here?
I was just passing through. These folks are kind enough to ask me to share their meal.
Colonel. Pistol whips.
Renegades?
Yes, sir. They slugged me. Well, didn't any of us have a chance?
How many?
Oh, I'd say about 8 or 9. 2 that stayed outside when the others rode off. They're the ones that did that.
Recognize any of them?
It's hardly likely, sir, since I'm a stranger in these parts. But I did see the leader before.
Where?
On the other side of the border, a couple of nights ago, I was riding up from Rio Rivas. Stumbled across this little canyon, and the same man was there, camped with some others. I was gonna stop. Glad I didn't now.
Can you describe him?
Well, he was a big man, riding a white stallion, wore a beard, kind of reddish brown.
Sir, that description fits Red Buckman.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Mr. Wheeler, I wonder if you'd mind accompanying us back to Fort Clark. I may need some more information. It'll also give you a chance to rest up and have that head wound tended to.
Well, Colonel, I don't think
It'll only be for a couple of days. I'd like you to be my personal guest.
Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate your hospitality.
Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. Lieutenant?
Eager to avoid suspicion, yet certain that Mackenzie had believed his story, Wheeler agreed to stay at Fort Clark for a few days of rest and medical attention.
What are you looking for, sir?
Tell you in a minute. Good. Look here. See anything?
Only a little mark in the metal facing.
Yeah. That mark is the blacksmith's signature. It appears to me that Mr. Wheeler's horse and that renegade animal were shod by the same man.
Colonel, if that's so...
I think I'll ask Mr. Wheeler for a little more information.
It's me, Greer. Tell Buckman if he wants to keep living, he better see me fast.
Been admiring that suit, Mr. Wheeler. Surely that isn't Bracketville tailoring.
Well, thank you, sir. No, I believe in the old saying, clothes make the man.
Well, I rather agree with you. You tell me, though, you've been on the trail for a long time. Aren't those pretty fancy clothes?
Well, as you know, sir, I haven't had a chance to shave yet today, but I've always prided myself in being a cut above the average saddle tramp.
No insinuation to the contrary. Tell me, Mr. Wheeler, what kind of a horse were you riding?
Well, Colonel Mackenzie, I should think you'd be able to tell just by looking at me. I wouldn't ride anything except a blooded animal.
What became of this blooded animal?
I told you, sir.
Well, tell me again.
Those renegades stole him. The man you called Buckman. He drove them off when they left the farmhouse.
Where'd you have this animal shod?
Well, he was already shot when I bought him.
Where'd you buy him?
In Mexico. I wonder if I could trouble you for a light?
Oh, surely.
Thank you.
Surely, Mr. Wheeler. Would you mind if I asked you what you were doing in Mexico, Mr. Wheeler?
Not at all, sir. We were looking at some silver mining property.
Oh, any luck?
Not much.
No, it's pretty much of a gamble.
Too much of a gamble for me. 2 or 3 years' time, maybe a man's whole poke. Not to me, I'm sorry.
Now, this canyon where you stumbled on the outlaw, this Buckman fellow, what was the place you were riding toward?
Rio Rios.
Oh, yes. I hear that's very good ore country.
Well, we weren't looking for silver in Rio Rios.
We? Who was with you?
A friend of mine, name of Johnson.
What happened to Mr. Johnson?
He stayed down there.
Oh, he was more of an optimist.
Well, let's put it this way. He's a little longer than I am on capital and on patience.
Mm-hmm. Now, you say when you ran onto them, you were headed toward Rio Rios.
That's right. Colonel, I've answered all your questions, and I've certainly told you everything I can think of.
I know you have, but maybe I can think of something more. Until I do, I'd appreciate it if you'd stay here on the post, as my guest, of course.
Oh, well, with pleasure, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you, sir, for your courtesy.
Your story sounds straight enough.
Maybe. Maybe. Lieutenant, you've been on this post long enough to know that this is pretty rowdy territory. Violence is sort of commonplace.
Yes, sir.
But pistol whipping a woman is not commonplace, even out here.
Oh, I wouldn't say so, sir.
There was another woman pistol whipped in this territory about a year ago. Only she didn't die.
That was just before I was assigned to the post, sir.
Uh-huh. Her name was Mrs. Lane. She lives with her brother about a mile and a half beyond Bracketville.
Oh, I see what you're up to, sir. Have her take a look at Wheeler and try to identify him. Is that right, sir?
No, Lieutenant, that's wrong. I'd take a ride out to the Lane place. And I have reason to believe, Mr. Gifford, that this is the same man who pistol whipped your sister.
Well, I don't know whether or not Helen can face him, Colonel Mackenzie. For the past year now, she's been awfully upset.
I know. No one can blame her. Perhaps if you could explain to her, though, how important it is. How important to the whole territory.
I know it's important that you identify him, but
No, Mr. Gifford. It's important that she does not identify him, even though she recognizes him.
But why, sir, if he is the man?
Because I want to give him confidence. I want to give him too much confidence.
I'll go in and talk to her, but I can't promise anything.
Thank you, sir.
Wheeler's here. He's waiting outside.
All right. When we get a little ways from the fort, see to it that Mr. Wheeler rides out in front. Just in case.
In case of what, sir?
In case somebody else has ideas.
How much money did you say?
1,000 for Wheeler. 2,000 if you call over McKenzie's dead body to do it.
Let's take the shortcut.
October 11th, 1873. Colonel Mackenzie's strategy demanded the complete confidence of Andy Wheeler. Together, they rode out to the home of Mrs. Lane.
Excuse me, Mr. Wheeler. It appears they were shooting at you, whoever they were.
I don't understand. I don't know why anybody shoot at me.
No. Well, perhaps they were shooting at me, just bad shots. Well, whoever they were, they're gone. Let's be on our way. Mrs. Lane's expecting us.
Helen, it's only me, dear.
Hello, dear. Colonel Mackenzie will soon be here. You still want to go through with it?
Yes.
He knows it isn't going to be easy for you. That must be them now.
Come in, Colonel. Mr. Gifford. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you, sir.
Mr. Gifford, this is Mr. Wheeler and Lieutenant Paxton.
Mr. Gifford?
She's in there, sir, waiting for you. Go right ahead.
Thank you.
Who's she?
Mr. Gifford's sister. Her name's Lane. Still doesn't mean anything to you?
No more than it did before. Is it supposed to?
How is she?
The same. She hasn't set foot outside of this house since she came here. Seems like she just wants to dry up and die.
Excuse me, gentlemen, but what's all this got to do with me?
That's what we're going to find out.
Is this the man, Mrs. Lane? Be very sure.
I don't remember ever seeing you before. think I'd remember if I had. Pretty woman like you.
No. No.
You're sure? You're sure this isn't one of the men that was there that day?
Yes, I'm very sure.
Well, now. Calling me a renegade. A murderer. Worse. He should have known better than that.
She did well, didn't she? Didn't act like she recognized him at all.
If there's anything I can do...
No, sir. Thanks just the same.
Well, I'll tell you what I think, Lieutenant. I think that colonel owes me an apology.
I agree with you, Mr. Wheeler. And I do apologize. All I can say is, we made a mistake. I'm sorry.
Well, Colonel, I'm no one to hold hard feelings. All I want to do is just be on my way.
Oh.
Anything wrong with that?
No. I was in hopes you could help us, Mr. Wheeler, but...
Well, look, Colonel,
It's quite all right. It's quite all right. Somebody else will claim the reward. Lieutenant Paxton, take Mr. Wheeler over to the hotel for supper. Buy him the best and then see him on his way.
Yes, sir.
Colonel! What was that reward you were just speaking of?
$500 for Red Buckman. We got word of the offer this morning.
$500 for Buckman, huh?
That's the man you saw near Rio Rios.
Yeah, I know.
I was just thinking, Mr. Wheeler, if you could remember the exact spot where you saw him and lead us there, I'd see to it that you got that reward. How about it, Mr. Wheeler?
Well...
Now, Mr. Paxton, have Lorca and Wayburn mount up. We're going to help Mr. Wheeler collect that reward.
I talked to the finance officer, sir. He says he hasn't received orders from you authorizing the $500 reward.
Lieutenant, I should have said we're going to help Mr. Wheeler get his just reward.
The Rio Grande, once a barrier to Colonel Mackenzie and a shield for those who would run from justice. Now, by secret orders of the President of the United States, Mackenzie could cross the international border. However, should his mission be exposed, the very man who had issued his secret orders was powerless to protect him from inevitable court-martial.
Guards over there, we'll have to walk in on them.
Horses first.
gonna rush him.
Not so fast, boy.
He's mine. Drop it. Drop it, Wheeler.
What?
Drop it. Drop it, Buckman. Drop it.
Why don't you let me get him?
Is that what you wanted, Mr. Wheeler?
Yes. Didn't you? I mean, they're nothing but scum, Colonel. They don't deserve a tryout.
I'm surprised you feel that way.
How else would I feel? I wouldn't have brought you up here otherwise. Reward or no reward. Well, I guess you won't be needing my services anymore, Colonel. I'll send you an address. You will see that I get my reward, won't you?
Oh, yes, Mr. Wheeler, I'll see that you get your reward. I made a promise I'd try never to break.
Thank you, sir.
I'd leave that right there if I were you.
Why?
Those renegades that fired at you down the road, they gave you away.
Well, that's impossible, Colonel.
Just as impossible as it is for Mrs. Lane to forget what you did to her. Take him away.
This is from Mrs. Lane, sir. She told me what it was, a pair of socks.
Well.
She knitted them herself. Yes, sir. Her brother says she's a changed woman since we got Wheeler. Even does her own marketing.
Well, I guess we were all lucky, Lieutenant Paxton.
It wasn't exactly luck, sir. But I'd like to know, why were you so suspicious of Wheeler?
Remember that first time we saw him? He was wearing that farmer's Sunday suit. Two things that never go together.
What's that, sir?
A farmer's Sunday suit with a dirty man inside. Well, now about these orders of the day.
Mackenzie's raiders rode again and again, carrying out the secret orders of the President of the United States. Do whatever necessary to clean up the Southwest. Make it a decent place for people to live. Ride with Mackenzie's raiders as they relive the blazing pages of history in the making.
You don't see it, they don't see it, and they never will. I'm leaving this note for those in the past. Maybe someone will hear me and change what's to come. There was a time when people connected by touch. A glance could speak, and silence could say everything. But then, communication was sacrificed to the screen. Everyone was connected, but no one ever truly touched. We filtered out hunger. We silenced the truth. The algorithm told us what to see, and we never questioned it. Those passing by wearing AR glasses see them as a blur and ignore them.
Please help me! Please help! Help! Help!
Thinking was dangerous, feeling was forbidden. Even seeing was considered a crime. If you didn't look away, the system marked you. Silence was safety. Questioning made you visible. And in this world, being visible meant walking the line between life and death. Maybe there's still hope. Maybe a child lifts their head, looks up at the sky, and remembers what it means to be human. With a single glance, everything could change. But not everyone lives long enough to look up, so make it count. Be the spark, be the voice, be the one who dares to hope